Fnatic become the first team to go through to the grand final here at ESL 1 Cologne. Welcome back to coverage live from Gamescom 2014. I knew the CS fans were in here somewhere. Plenty packed in here at the hall. We're almost ready for our second semi-final, but first let's check in and show you exactly what happened earlier on. If you weren't with us, you missed a terrific victory by Fnatic. Team Dignitas sadly once again falling in the final four. When will their time come? We'll have to wait and see as the year unfolds. Right now we're going to move on to our second semi-final, and it is another huge battle for different reasons. First up, our first team onto the stage are a team who no one would have predicted got to the semi-finals, let alone reach the quarters. They were brilliant yesterday, fantastic in group play. Please welcome LDLC. And the Frenchmen face a stern test in our second semi-final. Our next team almost need no introduction. They have gone on an 80+ win rate in the past. They've won multiple championships all around the world, but the one that eludes them at the moment is one of the majors. Please welcome Ninjas in Pajamas. It has been a week of firsts. We're about to find out which of these two teams goes through to their first major final. Is it NiP or LDLC? Let's get the thoughts and comments from our analysis desk, led by always Sir Scoots.
Thank you very much, Red Eye. I am once again, joined by Richard Lewis. Of course, we don't mention your name very much, buddy.
So maybe that's a good thing.
Yeah, you know. And MBK, you're back to join us again. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
So let's get right into it. NiP, LDLC, there's already been some talk that these guys are actually like scrim partners, which, so, you know, and all teams kind of find a couple guys that are willing to work with other teams. How do you deal with that now that you basically know that all your kind of normal strategies are kind of known by the team you're going to play?
Well, that's the exact reason why I'm looking forward to this match. Both teams have practiced each other so much, especially on the new map. So like everyone knows that both teams are ready on both Overpass and Cobblestone. So that's going to be a fun game to watch. Concerning the adaptation, I think NiP has got the edge because they are obviously, you know, that kind of team where they can face any opponent in the world and they're just going to like look at their opponent and like adapt 24/7. So LDLC, they're going to have to bring new things into their game if they want to perform well against NiP. And, you know, they've been working in a kind of submarine mode and they proved it against Virus Pro. They've got very good things. They are showing off very good tactics or defenses, and even skill-wise, they are just all on point. So I'm really looking forward to a 2-1 game either way.
Do you think that they'll each take their vetoes and each kick out the new maps?
I think one of the two maps is going to let open, but I don't think any team is going to take the chance like to pick it into the best of 3 as their map with the opponent choosing the side. You know, I think it would be as the fact they practice so much against each other, they're not going to take any risks to like play a random game in the end. So it's probably going to be open in the last 3 maps, but I'm probably looking for 3 normal old school maps.
Thoughts, Richard?
Oh, well, I got to say, first of all, this needs to be said on stream. Paul, I think, mentioned it there that he didn't think anyone had predicted that LDLC would make it to the semis. You actually did, brother.
Yes.
You did. You sat right here. But you actually knew a thing or two about them. And I got to be honest, LDLC really impressed me.
Yes.
I just thought they were a breath of fresh air the way they play the game. It's like no one else out there at the moment.
Yeah, it was just like a brand new game. They just came into this tournament with like a brand new game style. All the players adapted very well. You can see Apex getting all the entry kills. Like he's got brand new things in his inventory, and it's working extremely well so far. So now we're gonna see if it can goes on to the trenches once again, but it's going to be a harder matchup, I guess.
It's definitely going to be harder. I mean, I think the thing that's at the back of my mind is this is the worst NiP I've seen since they started dominating. You know, they're losing games, they look vulnerable, they're struggling against teams. It would be so ironic if this was the NiP that actually went on to win a major. It just doesn't feel like you can bet against them. Like, as bad as they look, they always find a way to win.
Yeah, definitely. I think that's the strength of NiP. They've got 5 players that have so much experience. They have been playing together for so long. They have an answer to every single thing out there and against every single team in the world. And even though they look kind of down, they had a bad result at definitely losing heavily against Dignitas. They came here. They dropped obviously some maps, but nothing alarming so far. They always came out in the games like, okay, we made mistakes. We know what we did wrong, and we're gonna pick it up for the next games. And so be it. We still pass. We're good. And they're just taking one game at a time. And I think that's the good spirit to, not overthink and just go into the finals and slowly but surely they're getting there. Although they don't look very strong, they are definitely one of the best teams in the world.
And you highlighted Apex, his entry fragging. I want to just give props to Happy as well. I actually highlighted Uzi because I think he's one of the weaker players in the team, and it's important that he steps up his game. And he did. I thought he played quite well. But Happy, as an in-game leader, to be dropping those sort of frags. I think he did 27 on Mirage against Virtus Pro, arguably one of the best teams on Mirage. He was immense.
I think that just all the LDLC players are underrated because they're always under the radar. They didn't show anything special in the past. Like, they had some good results back and forth, but not something very consistent. And all the players, I know them personally, and they all have their qualities. They have something to deliver. And you can see Apex with the entry frags. Maniac is going to be the kind of lurker that's going to make all the smart little moves. Yeah. Uzi is like, and we've got the veto.
Yeah, we've got the veto. So
veto
the cameraman's doing some lurking so we can see what maps we're going to go.
Okay, so LDLC got rid of Cash, it looks like.
Yeah. I think that's a smart move. I know NiP play a lot of Cash. I've casted a lot of games online. They do like to play that map. I mean, they don't always win on it, but they certainly don't mind playing it, and they consider themselves to be good. Exist giving us the thumbs up.
Oh, Mirage. So actually both maps are going to be remaining.
Yep. There goes Mirage by NiP. Oh no.
That's going to be interesting.
I told you.
That shows how good LDLC are on Mirage. I mean, after they beat Virtus Pro, the respect that they've got. And LDLC picking Inferno,
that's interesting because Inferno, they're not going to have the side advantage, so they probably have got some surprises in terrorists, like some explosive beginning of the sides. I'm really looking forward to that because it's going to be probably something. I don't think they played that much Inferno, so it's going to be interesting, very interesting.
And what's this? Let's get zoomed right in there. Oh,
so NiP's got that CT side.
And Fetish was saying yesterday he considers Ninjas in Pajamas to be the best team on Nuke, not Dignitas.
They are excellent. And the big thing on Nuke is that LDLC is going to have side advantage. So that's pretty funny because both teams pick the map where one side has got a pretty good advantage, but they let the other team pick the side. So it looks like both teams have got prepared good terrorist sides, pretty explosive. I think that's the main point. If you start on the hard side, you have to be explosive. You have to enter into the game and surprise your opponents. So that best of 3 looks really, really interesting already.
Yeah, this is shaping up to be a potential classic. And we're going to see what the third map is. I mean, they're still...
Yeah, so LDLC is going to pick CT side on that nuke. We're going to see that in a minute, I imagine. That would be the no-brainer there.
Well, as Nathan says, maybe they got something up their sleeve. Maybe that's what's causing.
I did make a joke that it might be
delay.
Looks like someone joined the lobby, so they're going to.
No, not a matchmaking day. Get out of there.
And the third map has been picked, but we cannot really notice it.
I can't quite see that last map.
Gotta love the trolls.
And it's
Cobblestone.
I guess. Cobblestone is a third map.
Wow. So Nathan, tell us about Cobblestone, because I don't know what these two teams are like on that. I was expecting if it was an overpass, I could probably bring something to the table. I haven't got a clue. I mean,
well, we saw some. I mean, both teams really practiced the new maps a lot.
Yeah.
It's going to be very interesting in the fact that both teams played each other so much on those new maps that they're going to have to make something new and something out of their box. They have to have a good imagination.
Well, we saw NiP do that yesterday on Cobblestone against Cloud9 in that incredible game. And one of the things they did was they adapted by moving Get Right into that sort of drop position. And he was buying a P90 every round. And, we talked to Sean, who was on the desk before you, and he said, man, I was so angry at Get Right getting all those P90 kills.
Well, the thing is, Cloud9 for sure didn't play Cobblestone that much. So in the end, it was a kind of, I think it was a pretty shaky game from NiP because they were supposed to have a big edge going onto this map. Coming against LDLC, well, I think now I would say a 60-40 for LDLC because they've got good side advantages. They showed extremely good things already in the whole tournament. And you can see that they're working as a unit. You can see that they are all together and they just want one thing, you know, like they're just hunting each other like in one group. And that's something at the highest level that you definitely need to perform at your best. And
I'm telling you, I mean, they look absolutely up for this.
Yeah, and again, what's kind of a neat little meta change out of the game is all three of the teams remaining have a strategic advisor / coach, whatever you want to call them, not just the manager cheerleader type helping them. That sixth man. So, you know, maybe that's going to almost be a must-have these days.
I think it's
Can't talk about it.
No.
Yeah, it will be amazing. That's it. They're getting ready to rock and roll. We're getting ready to rock and roll. This match is going to be brought to you by Tosspot and Steel. Take it away, guys.
Scott, thank you very much. And guys, thanks for your analysis. I'm joined by Steel. Steel, thank you for coming on in. Great job yesterday. Looking forward to doing it again with you. Your thoughts on this game, which is going to be just brilliant.
I mean, it's going to be a great game. We have NiP picking their map, Nuke. LDLC obviously opting for Inferno. And, I mean, both CT-sided maps. And with this veto system, the map that you pick, the opposite team gets the side choice. So we're going to see LDLC actually starting on counter-terror side of Nuke and NiP starting on the counter-terror side of Inferno. So it's going to be interesting to see how that pans out. And if they're able to bring it to a 1-1, if they're able to win the wins at the maps that they select, it's going to go to a Cobblestone for the tiebreaker.
So talk about the scrim partner factor in this. You know, do you regularly get this scenario against you? I mean, in North America, you've got a smaller pool of teams to scrim with.
Yeah.
How is that going to play into this?
I think a lot of the French teams play like a similar style. Like wherever you are from a specific region, the Swedish teams will play the same way, German teams play the same way, French teams play the same way. So I think NiP's going to be prepared against LDLC. I don't know if they've necessarily practiced against them, but they know the style at least.
And there's not a huge amount of match history between these two teams, so it's a pretty safe partner to have. This is the first time they've come up against each other in a truly major event. They have had some online. I think they played against each other in Face It and a few others, I think maybe Star Series, but really not a massive amount of match history between these two teams. So curious to see how this will pan out. All it takes to win a tournament is to have one good day. NiP might be having a bad good day, and they have the talent to have that. Write NiP off at your peril.
Yep, but LDLC, I don't think anyone's actually expected them to come this far in the tournament, and they've been surprising everyone, making everyone's heads turn?
Who has surprised you the most? Who's turned your head the most?
I mean, it would be between, I guess, Apex. He'd be the standout player for that team. We can see a close-up of Happy right here. I believe that's Happy. He looks kind of happy, right? He looks kind of nervous, actually. But no, he looks happy.
Drop. We're going to get this game underway. It is going to be Inferno to kick us off. It'll be NiP on the CT side. And let's see. It's LDLC, NiP, semi-final 2, the right to face Fnatic. And will we have a repeat of the very first major grand final? Or will it be Team LDLC to be the X factor in this tournament? On board with Forest.
It's a very interesting start here from NiP. I'd almost imagine it would be a straight counter-strat to something that LDLC's shown in the past, maybe during practice, maybe during another Inferno match. Looks like NiP is just doing a hard counter to it, but we'll see here in just a moment if it pays off.
LDLC ready to make their entrance now as they flash in and the attack led through. It's going to be Forest. Oh, what a hit! Welcome to the semi-final, Forest. Apex dropped as Keeler comes in with the return. Fifth Laren returns the favor, and Forest and NiP are expecting incoming at B coming from CT Spawn. It's Exist who will lead the charge. Freiburg dropped by Uzi. Returned the favor by Exist, and here we go. Get right going, Clazy with the duels, but he can't quite finish off the job. And Maniac drop the remaining two NiP players. LDLC win the pistol.
And that was actually a round that should have gone in the favor of NiP. They had the perfect stack. They weren't expecting the B split through arches, but they were prepared for like a full B hit. Had Fiflaren actually stayed in spawn, maybe been prepared for those arch players to come through spawn and been in a better position, or even if the rest of his team that were in the B bomb site were able to pick up a couple of kills. I mean, Get Right was the only one who was able to get a kill there. That should have gone in the favor of NiP, but LDLC with the shots, they were able to pull through.
Sometimes no matter how good your strat is, if they just outshoot you, not much you can do. Freiburg sits, waiting, and will be forced back by Happy. Maniac in mid, joined by Uzi, and the LDLC assault is about to begin, with one player left up at Banana, but the rest ready to commit up towards A. As Apex is there, Exist will be the man that he comes up against first. Apex sitting and waiting for someone to show, but it hasn't happened. Maniac gets the first, Apex gets the second. And the CZ round maybe won't convert for the Ninjas. But let's see, Freiburg's the one who can throw a cat amongst the pigeons. Oh, you'd have backed him to finish off the job, but Fiflaren did get one frag for NiP. It leaves just Get Right and Fiflaren alive, up against 4. Fiflaren about to see action now as the bomb will make its way past him, and as he pokes his head out, Uzi chops it off. And that'll be Get Right dropped, and LDLC convert their pistol round into their second.
Yeah, and only getting one casualty, that's a very good start for LDLC. They're able to maximize their economy. And NiP just playing a really default passive setup, and LDLC just walked up middle and took middle control, got the 5-on-3, and then from there they were able to just regroup, and they were able to take middle control into the A-bomb site.
Clean play. Another CZ round, but no nades for NiP this time. As we come on board with Forest, who, like all of these NiP players, has just brought individual moments into tournaments that have changed games. We saw it on that pistol round with the headshot. He is a man that can change anything. And shoots slightly too early onto Maniac, who then comes across and drops him with a headshot. Did lose a lot of life though, 78 points gone from Maniac, but in towards B they go. It's Get Right we're on board with, as he will see Apex and Uzi coming his way. Get Right, just can't quite finish off. Low health on 2 players, but Get Right joins Forest in the locker room along with Freiburg, as well as Fiflaren will have to come across until the Fiflaren and Exist left up. And been a quite patient eco play.
There's a couple of things I could point out after this round. It's a 5 versus 2 at the moment. LDLC's done a great job. 5 versus 1 now. Oh, that's a perfect round. A couple of things I want to point out. One was that Force pushed into the apartments with a CZ. Now that's a very good spot to have a CZ because you're in close quarters, you're able to get a pick off. If there's 2 LDLC members that are taking into apartment control, I mean, Force is in a position to get a nice double kill. Unfortunately, he wasn't able to get the kill on Maniac, who was scouting in there. But something else is that Maniac, actually, he died the round before. Instead of buying up a rifle again, he just stuck with a pistol, and he was just clearing out the close apartment control. If he died, he wouldn't lose a big rifle, he wouldn't lose anything worth value, but we're going to see a NiP push here.
And it's going to be Exist to lead the charge in to follow up that Molotov, and straight down Banana will also go the other 2 NiP players. So they've got 4 players in advanced positions. Now Exist finds himself having to retreat and loses out. Happy gets 2 of them. Freiburg finally stops the rot, but NiP coming out worse after their push. Fiflaren will get in and will get Carly. That will be a big round for a big hit for NiP. Stops the assault in on A, and now makes LDLC have to think again and regroup, as we're split all over the map between the 6 players we have left. It's Fiflaren and Freiburg to defend the A assault, which Maniac leads. Julie, LDLC going down, as Uzi will take it, and Get Right is going to be pushed back by the nade. He looks down towards the old photo pit as there's nobody there for it. Fiflaren now coming around from the smoke. There's half health on both players. They'll back themselves to finish this one off, but they are getting picked off, and in the end, neither will get away with a weapon. And LDLC will take the round. It's 4-0.
And that was a huge round for LDLC. Now they're able to pick up 4 rounds in a row. They're probably going to pick up this next round as well, because NiP is actually going to be on an eco round. And something to look at about that round is that once NiP did that push and it was down to a 3 versus 3, LDLC did a great job of getting straight up the port side of middle, getting into that bomb site, and the NiP members were over at Arch. They forfeit the bomb site completely. And it would have been nice to see Fiflaren actually teaming up with Get Right there at port side in that clutch situation, because he had an incendiary grenade. Actually, he could have used that in the back of the pit, pulled a terrorist out of the position, and then made it a 2 versus 2 for the retake. Oh, but that's a great tactic there, just double nading the sandbags, clearing out that close angle. LDLC knows that NiP is on an eco, so they're going to just clear out all the close angles, any angles that NiP will use to kind of secure a frag, and LDLC is not basically giving away any positioning. They're just using really smart team play.
To the B site they go. It's Get Right who will open up the shooting onto Uzi, but comes out the worst. Now Fiflaren will pick up the slack as he gets the first frag for NiP this round. He can't follow up with anything more as Apex and Happy connect with 2 frags for LDLC. It's just Forest left, and for LDLC again, they get into these situations not losing many frags, and almost this game has gone.
And actually LDLC is making a pattern of, we saw that they dropped the bomb in middle. They had one person watching the secondary mid there, one person was watching the primary mid, and 3 players went in to scout B. And they didn't just run into B, they jumped around the corners. They knew that NiP was on an eco. If you're jumping around corners, you're such a hard target to hit, especially if the NiP members have pistols. So LDLC kind of baiting out the NiP's positions, then just collapsing on them altogether. Only taking 1 casualty in that round. I mean, this is a huge lead for them. This is a great start. This is map pick, so kind of maybe expected, but this is a great start nonetheless.
Gun round for NiP, and they need to get themselves on the board. It's Forest who can spy nothing. Just that bottom right part of the smoke that he was hoping to see a foot in, and didn't. Freiburg has extended down Banana though, so he'll have cleared that out and he'll have warned the rest of the players, and that's why there's the 4th man over on the A site, because they have knowledge of B. Just don't know when this A assault's about to come. It's Forest who will again see action first as they make the charge right now. Forest opens up with the first frag. It's Uzi that's down. Is there more to come? The second head pops out, and it's the second head that gets dropped. LDLC, though, have 3 frags of their own. Forest still going himself, though, with Apex right in front of him, dancing the dance. He gets it. Freiburg now having to charge over from that B site. Has 2 to go. Apex has just 12 points of health, but Happy will pick up the smile, and that will be 6-0 LDLC.
And that was actually a great read by NiP. They got the push down Banana. Freiburg had full control there. 4 of the NiP players were in the A bomb site, but they weren't able to connect their frags. LDLC came out through the apartments, came up porch, and got the kills on the NiP players. The only thing I could have seen differently going on there is NiP maybe, once one of the players rotated off of B, move a player from the site into pit, double up pit, 1 person site, and 1 person arch. But here we see Forrest getting a knock, trying to kind of change up the tune of the round, and he actually gets taken out.
Exist returns the favor. Maniac goes down. It'll be Get Right to pass that nade down to Banana and retreat. The bomb has stayed stationary in mid, and LDLC happy to just see if they can steal a frag away, create an opening for themselves. They regroup in mid once more with Apex. And now it's Freiburg who has got a very angry group of Frenchmen coming his way. Let's see what he can do. He and his famous power. Deep in B with reinforcements from Get Right, of course. Gets back in, they come now. It's Apex who he lines up, and it's Apex who he downs. Freiburg going for number 2. Get Right now ready to play his hand surely as well. Carly will get the kill, but Get Right's been picked off on the other side as Happy claims that. And that will be the B bomb site stamped with that LDLC stamp as they go through an NiP with Fiflaren, and Exist will take on this retake. It's 2-on-3 with the 3 having all lost health, but they've lost 1 of the 2. It's Happy that gets Exist, and now can Fiflaren go big for NiP, or will it be resulting to falling back and saving that weapon. No, he's going to go for this all the way. Carly is there, and Fiflaren retreats. He played it just by the book there. Let the bomb timer do the work for them in the site. And Fiflaren in the end, well out of sight.
It's looking like a great start for LDLC. 7 rounds, I mean, I'd be happy with 5 rounds on Terra's side of this map. LDLC has 7 already. NiP's, are they calling the vote or is it LDLC?
I have a feeling it was LDLC, judging by them getting up, but arguably NiP need it.
Yeah, I mean, this would definitely help NiP. Getting a little pause in, kind of figuring out, okay, what's going on? How can we fix this? What do we need to do differently? What's LDLC doing?
This has been a dominant first half from LDLC. What can you offer in terms of what NiP should change?
I mean, one of the things they can do, they had the right idea when they pushed down B, left the player aggressive on B and stacked 4 in the A bomb site. That comes down to hitting your shot. This last round we saw here, I mean, Freiburg got an entry kill coming into the B bomb site in a 4-on-4 position, but then he went down quickly. Get Right wasn't able to get a kill. So a lot of the time it comes down to just hitting your shots, and it doesn't look like NiP is able to do that at the moment. So maybe it's not a whole bunch of changing up the positions. Maybe it's not changing the style. Like Forrest went for an aggressive pick 1 round. He's not hitting his shot. It's as simple as that.
And if we go back to the round where Forrest was up top and the 3 players came out in towards the pit, he sat deep. They were in the perfect position. They had 3 guns trained on that area, but those 3 guns just didn't get 3 kills.
Exactly. And we had a player in the pit. We had a player in the bomb site. We had another player at that moto pit area. They should be able to lock down 3 LDLC players coming out of a 2x4 doorway, that being apartments. But LDLC, they lost 1 member, they got the trade kill. They lost another member, they got the trade kill. If you're able to trade kills out, you're going to have the favorable advantage. We saw Freiburg just being the last man standing in a 1 versus 2, and in that situation, it's just unwinnable.
And what do you make of LDLC? They are hitting their shots. They do look confident. That looked like a tactical timeout more than anything else.
Yeah, I mean, maybe it's just so that they don't get complacent. They don't want to kind of, you know, they have the big lead. They don't want to throw it away. This is huge. If they're able to pick up this map, they know that, okay, even if we drop Nuke, which is NiP's map choice, they still have Cobble to basically clean up the series. They don't want to lose this lead. They want to secure Inferno. So they're probably just chatting right now saying, listen, this gun round's working, this gun round's working. NiP, when they do on eco, we scout them out, we take 0 casualties, we have such good economy right now, we can keep buying for essentially the rest of the half. Actually, yeah, they could afford to buy the next 3, if they lose the next 3 rounds in a row, they could still buy. So LDLC, I mean, they're just gonna stick to their game plan, that being split off, kind of work picks, regroup, and attack together. Usually, we've seen it at A, actually. They've done a nice split, 50-50.
Great move from Freiburg there. Dancing over the Molotov and with it, as we've seen this once before.
Yep.
He's able to stay happy. Maniac, he'll make that jump up into apartments once more, and he will go looking for Forrest. He knows that this is an area that he patrols. There is no Swede this time. LDLC just scouting at the moment. They've seen nothing of the Swedes thus far. Sometimes you'll see Exist or Fiflaren just roaming, just taking a peek down mid. They've not. Exist has sat back, and the flash has caught him. Get Right though with the Max 7, connects point blank range with Uzi. He's down in the end by Maniac, and that was where Exist needed to follow up. And in the end, Exist peeks into a 1-on-2 and can't connect with the frag. It's Apex and Maniac that down him. Fiflaren now waiting for one to show from out the smoke. Doesn't happen. And interestingly, Freiburg, when the A commit had happened, surrendered a very good position, and now he's going to have to fall deep into B and recover against some 4 players that are up. Still a 3-on-4, still doable for NiP. But having lost Fiflaren, Freiburg is now 1 buddy down. Gets himself his second as he looks to hold on. Down to 15 points of health. Forrest will take over the running. And it's 2 versus 2. As the bomb is also being planted, and Forrest connects and delivers. 2 frags for Freiburg, 2 frags for Forrest. And Ninjas in Pajamas are on the board with their first round.
Actually, Forrest making a huge play there. Just pushing into this bomb site, getting the kill on the 1 player who wasn't playing on the bomb. The other player who was playing on the bomb had to pretty much commit to that, which means that he can't basically get the trade kill right after. Freiburg getting that nice entry on the LDLC player running into the site. But what I wanted to point out there is LDLC Maniac, it looks like he's clearing the halls by himself. He doesn't have a teammate coming up the stairs at the same time he's pushing into the window room, so he's got no support. If Forrest was playing aggressively in the apartments, he could most likely get the kill on Maniac and fall back all the way into a safe position before LDLC is in a position to actually get the trade kill. So a bit too aggressive without a teammate. Maniac should probably wait for some assistance before he goes up that quickly.
First round NiP, but they need to follow this one up. Here we go, it's going to be Fiflaren charging on in, gets the first, the second, and the third. Happy comes back with one, and Maniac will, in the end, down Fiflaren, but Exist is there to finish off the job. And it is Happy left 1 on 3. Looks for Get Right, and NiP have absolutely no need to show for themselves here. They have Exist eyes trained purely on that bomb. Happy will walk straight onto the crosshair of Get Right, and that is 7-2 NiP. Talk to us about the smokes that went into that attack, and then Fiflaren's play thereafter.
It looked like they wanted to smoke off the truck and towards the pit. I think whoever that was in the port side of middle actually blocked that smoke from going a little bit deeper into the pit area. But we are going to... what was I going to say? So LDLC, I don't know whose smoke that was at port side mid, where Fiflaren played on the other side of it. He was able to pick up 3 kills and do a lot of damage to the 4th player. So if that was Fiflaren smoke, that was a great play, just dropping that smoke down and then stopping the assault from the LDLC players. If LDLC threw it, I think their expectation was that NiP would kind of bite on that as a fake, thinking that LDLC would wrap around the archway, but Fiflaren just held his ground, and he was able to just stop that completely. Great play by Fiflaren there.
On board with Maniac, who will come up against Fiflaren now and come out the victor. As Forrest looks to stop Maniac pushing on beyond there. It is Carly who'll first buy a chicken and then move straight into Forest territory. Get Right waiting to see whether anything moves off the back of that. He will be the one that sees Maniac. He will in fact be the one who sees a lot coming his way. Get Right pokes out straight away, brings the engagement, but in the end comes out the loser on it as Maniac gets him. Carly comes up with his and Forrest is down and out. The safe arms of Freiburg, and it will be NiP having to surrender that round, but getting away with at least 2 weapons, and it'll be a 6-round deficit for the Swedes. So.
Again, it's just the aim duels. LDLC is winning them, NiP is losing them. And it's costing NiP actually dearly. 8-2 is the score line. And NiP, even though they're saving the 2 weapons here, I'm pretty sure they spent a lot of money in the previous round. So we're going to see potentially... They might just have to use these 2 weapons. Because they just won the round, their money bonus is going to be reset to $1,400. So we're going to see 2 players with $1,500 here. I mean, they do have the 2 weapons, but it's difficult to.
Rounds left to try and build something up on the CT side, though.
I wouldn't be surprised if we see a Mag 7 being bought here. Ooh, is that NiP calling for the timeout? It seems to be a sound problem. I think NiP with this time should actually use this time to actually talk about what's going on in this next round coming up. What do they want to do? Do they want to buy? Do they want to force Mag 7s and get into close positions in the halls? But it looks like they're just going to straight up buy the rifles. Oh, Get Right does get the Mag 7. So I wouldn't be surprised if it gets in a close position. Maybe the first oranges or the sandbags push up at Banana and hope that LDLC actually come into an aggressive position. But Get Right with the Mag 7 at Banana, I mean, he's only got 2 spots to play from. So I wouldn't be surprised if he...
Here we go. It is Get Right and Freiburg to lead the charge. It's Freiburg ahead of Get Right. And Get Right will pull back and get dropped as he tried to retreat. Carly will claim that one. And now Freiburg will have to retreat all the way back in. But look what LDLC have done thereafter. No commitment exists, has come all the way around from A, and they're in a 2-2 split. And LDLC said, that wasn't our attack. We're still looking for more. As they've tried to see whether NiP reacted at all, and they didn't. At least in a way that LDLC would have been able to capitalize on. Fiflaren will go up against Maniac here as Maniac tosses out the smoke, forces Fiflaren to retreat. He's expecting someone to poke their head out from apartments, and it will be Carly who does exactly that, and it will be Maniac who picks up the other side. Carly's got just 1 point of health left to find on Fiflaren, and does so, and that leaves some 4-5 men in the A site, and the chicken pays the price.
And LDLC, actually, they got the advantage. They had the 5-on-4 man advantage. They killed Get Right early in the round, but we saw they didn't get complacent. They didn't just rush into the B-bomb site. They didn't rush up mid. They held for a long period of time. They got into really good positions, close middle. They took apartment control. They were in the boiler. They isolated one side of the middle, that being port side. They ran up. They got the kills that they needed. They killed the arch player. Kaylee came out and killed Fiflaren in the bomb site, and now they're just hunting down. They know NiP's economy is really low, and it looks like they're just gonna isolate them.
Freiburg is flushed out, smoked out, if you will, and it'll be Exist who goes down as well. This NiP side are just being hammered right now by LDLC.
And if we look at the economy for NiP, it's really low. They really need to step up their game, and it looks like they're going to do one eco round here. I wouldn't be surprised if they wanted to get into aggressive apartment positions next round. If I were in NiP's position, that's what I would want to do. Kind of do something that they haven't shown before this game. Do something where they can get an early kill other than at Banana, because Banana, their aggressive, obviously hasn't been working for them. Get the kill and fall back.
Let me ask you the cliched caster question.
Sure.
Are NiP playing that badly, or LDLC playing that well?
Bit of both, actually. LDLC is hitting their shots, but they're also making very important decisions. NiP, they're not hitting their shots at all. Even good read, they're still not hitting their shots. It's as simple as that. And LDLC just showing their patience again this round.
Here it will be Carly to get himself the kill. And you know, there's almost an element of dignitas in the way that LDLC play. Very methodical, perfect team play, someone always covering someone's back. But they just seem that little bit happier to take just 1 or 2 more gambles. Someone like Maniac, for example, pushing up solo, just backing himself as an individual to get that frag. And right now it seems to be an effective combo of patience with brilliance.
It looks like Get Right's actually going to get himself into this close position, maybe try to get an exit kill, but he's actually going to go down. And Fiflaren, I mean, just with the USP, so he's going to try to do that as well. Try to get an exit kill, maybe pick up a weapon and escape, saving the weapon and using it in the next round. But it doesn't look like LDLC is going to give Fiflaren that opportunity.
And that will go to 10-2. LDLC rolling away with this one at the moment. If you're NiP, what do you do differently? I mean, is it as simple as connecting with shots?
I mean, it is a huge thing, but again, getting in close combat in the apartments, getting that random kill, unexpected kill, risky play, trying to get yourselves in the game. I mean, first tried it with the knockdown middle. Know you're down 10-2. You normally want to just play it safe, play it. You don't have rounds to work with. But in this situation, they're getting just crushed every time LDLC actually executes a strategy. NiP needs to the pace of the battle somehow.
Now you saw when they had just that little bit more confidence in, I think it was round 5, they weren't in this situation.
Yeah.
They did rush middle. They followed up a Molotov, and they got 1 frag, but they lost 2 in that situation. But maybe that's what they need to do. But those strats only come when you feel like you're on the top of your game.
Yeah. Well, even in that situation, they had a 3 versus 3. Had one of the NiP members been in the pit or in the bomb site, as opposed to holding from arch side, they might have had a chance at the round, but LDLC was able to get up porch and into the bomb site, and there were no NiP members there to actually defend against it.
Yeah, right, smokes out Banana, where the LDLC side were eagerly waiting, and they will now retreat out. Pushed away from that site. It'll be LDLC now somewhat stuck in the middle. As NiP have done a good job of holding them back, but now they will have to face the inevitable. And here it comes. Can Exist deliver as he has done so many times on this side? Forrest drop, but Exist going big. Who's he in Apex? Both drop. Can he follow up with a third? No, Carly says no more. And it's Get Right to Freiburg to have to come across from B to salvage something at A once more. 2 versus 3. Maniac with 2 of those kills. And now into the smoke, Get Right runs, and down he will go. Freiburg finds himself chased out by the Molotov. He will want that frag on Carly, and he won't quite be able to finish off with breakfast. And has to retreat. Low health on all of those players. A kill is a possibility, but a retake is not. He will get out of there, and it'll go to 11-2. This is just brutally efficient play.
And I feel like I'm just sounding like a broken record at this point, but again, NiP is just giving LDLC way too much respect. When we see NiP on their game, what they do so well is just peeking out and getting the kills and just not giving the opponent too much respect. They just go out and they take the aim duels. And here we're seeing a fully passive NiP gaming. They're playing 1-person apartments, 1-person porch, 1-person arch, 2 people hiding in B. They're scared. They're playing scared right now, and they lack the confidence. You can tell that they're lacking the confidence just in their gameplay, just in their setups. So I really want to see them get close into the apartments and kind of set the pace, as opposed to let LDLC actually execute their full strategy on the NiP gaming team.
Well, they have just 2 rounds to do it.
Only 2 rounds, yep. And we're going to actually see a couple of Mag 7s coming in from the NiP squad.
It's this position that you've called out so many times.
Yep.
Maniac's done this unopposed, and they're surrendering, you know, a healthy kind of 70% of the map to them.
Yep. And Maniac was in there a good 3 seconds before Kaylee was, but Get Right's actually going to change the tune of this round.
Get Right with 2 big frags down on Banana. He's now wondering if there's more. He hasn't seen Happy. He has now, and that'll be the hat trick for Get Right as he tries to bring NiP screaming back into this game. Fiflaren gets the 4th frag. It is just Maniac left alive, and he will go up